The horn's gonna sound on this escape down here. That's the start time. The horn's gonna sound at the stop time. We'll have a 2-minute break in between and you'll start your 5-minute station again. Anybody got any questions before we start? Everybody ready? Okay, Johnny, sound the horn, please. Here we go, let's go.
SkillsUSA is a national nonprofit student organization that allows students to compete in contests related to their skill areas.
Schools from all around the state and all around the country come together to compete and see who can do what best and who can do what fastest.
They develop a lot of industry skills that they would need going into the field.
So in SkillsUSA, we combine personal, workplace, and technical skills grounded in academics in a variety of ways for our students to get a full experience as they go through, whether it's high school, post-secondary, or even middle school now.
You go to competition, you go regionals, state, nationals, just like any other, like a sport would be.
They have, of course, an automotive portion. They have a collision repair portion. They have a heavy-duty diesel portion.
You know, it's not just automotive.
There's cosmetology, welding,
childcare, nursing, carpentry, and architecture.
So fantasy hair and makeup is a pretty exciting contest, just like what you would expect to see at a New York fashion show with the most elaborate makeup and hair designs you can imagine.
It's like a stepping stone for a lot of the students to go from one particular job, say automotive or auto body, and go into the field, you know, have some good confidence behind them.
And it's really cool, and it's basically a test of the best of your skills.
And it's recognized in the industry to see that the students have actually had, you know, a good variety of training that helps them grow.
It's life-changing. As a student myself in the organization 15 years ago, this organization had a tremendous impact on me by not just letting me learn the technical skills I was getting in the masonry classroom, but learning how to be an individual who had integrity, work ethic, those personal employability skills that are critical to every student's success.
It's an opportunity that students have, number one, of seeing kind of what the future is going to be for them.
SkillsUSA, you can put in your portfolio and get a good job, and it sort of shows you as excelling in your field.
One more big round of applause for collision repair technology.
As someone that's going to hire them, it kind of gives me, especially if they've ranked and they've done very well in SkillsUSA, I know that they're capable of, you know, competing and working in this kind of field.
So you're going to extend it to the 3rd or 4th rung at the end. Make sure you do your clove hitch at the end, make sure it's secured, proper climbing angle, don't let anything fall or break. Sound good? Ready, set, go.
Today we're at a regional event, which is really the first level of competition that students engage in North Carolina. But in order to determine who's going to compete from the regional event, a lot of instructors will hold a local contest to decide who they're going to send to be the best of their best.
The regional competitions we hold here at Blue Ridge Community College for our western region.
Anybody in western North Carolina can come and compete at this level, whether they're high school or college, either one that has that type of program. There's 10 different stations.
At each station you have to perform a task.
You go to a station and you have a time limit, you know, like 4 or 5 minutes.
Their tasks will be hands-on. They will have to identify components, for example.
One of the stations we had to check the voltage of a battery and determine whether or not it was good.
They'll have an axle housing there with a ring and pinion gear, and they'll have to check backlash.
We had to measure the resistance of spark plug wires and see if they were good.
You don't necessarily have to compete at regionals to qualify for state. However, what we like to do here at Blue Ridge is we like to see who is going to do well, and we usually take the top percentage of that to state.
I was lucky enough to be in there. I actually placed first for the college here.
Welcome to the SkillsUSA North Carolina Championships.
Greensboro will probably have close to 3,000 students and teachers there. It takes up the entire Greensboro Coliseum, 112 competitive events.
It's crazy. It's large. It just hits you right in there in the face when you get there.
Every community college and trade school for whatever trade you're going for is there.
Competition usually starts about 8 o'clock in the morning. They get 10 minutes at a station. They have to be professional in appearance. And they do count off points if you're not.
I remember one part you had to go through, you had to take a test, an ASC certification test.
Before they can even compete, they have to have a resume or they have points taken away.
It states they had an actual job interview.
That person will ask them a series of questions just like an employer would and see what their response is.
It's pretty tough actually. There was a couple stations I didn't know, which is the reason I didn't place very high.
And now welcome your champions in automotive service technology. In 5th place.
Basically, they announce the top 5 winners and then the first goes to nationals.
So in their competition, they have to be the top ranked person.
And we actually had a student win the competition and go on. He's going on to nationals.
Me.
And 1st place from Blue Ridge Community College, Kason Newton.
Well, going into states, I didn't really plan on even placing in top 5, so I wasn't really nervous or anything. I was just there to compete. Going into nationals, I was very nervous.
As the competitions go on, it starts narrowing down, and those students that are really focused and really work hard are the ones that rise to the top.
To even get to the national level, you're already in the top 3% of your trade area just by being qualified to go to the national level.
First in state, and then I went to compete at nationals. Yeah, and then you get there and it's huge.
It's very overwhelming.
16,000 students are competing in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's an incredible conference. About 5 days, and you can go a little bit earlier if you want to get a leadership opportunity.
There's so many vendors and leaders in the field that you get the chance to meet. I had lunch with the CEO of Snap-on, actually.
That really stressed me out. I probably could have done a lot better if I would have been, just more mentally prepared.
It's fun to watch them because they get very nervous, they get excited about it, but that's all part of life.
They would come up with a station that would probably take you 30 if you were taking your time, and then gave you 20 minutes to do it in the hopes that you wouldn't finish it.
It seemed like it got more technical, especially in nationals. You got a ton of more people, way bigger competition, on your shoulders, so they'll get to you if you're not careful.
Every one of our contests are designed by national business and industry standards. So when a student walks in there, they're competing against what current industry is demanding that students have in that particular trade area.
We'd like to present you with $1,000 for your SkillsUSA program this year from the Hornets Nest region.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
It's expensive to send the students, but what the students do is they, as a club and as a team, put together events where they actually will generate enough money to send the students themselves to these competitions.
Are you all registering your car?
We're here today at the Blue Ridge Community Car Show for SkillsUSA. All the proceeds from the car show benefits the automotive program here at the college and the students that are involved in the SkillsUSA competition at the state and national level.
We always give a donation to help the students travel, and I understand this year you have a winner, so it's worthwhile.
There's a ton of reasons why a student would want to get engaged in SkillsUSA.
For me, going to nationals and stuff, it was big. Schools looked at me, at a bunch of bigger universities come out, like with scholarships and stuff.
It makes you look very good for a job application or anything like that.
If I see that they've been in SkillsUSA training, their application would go to the top.
A lot of us have a hard time figuring out where we're going and what we want to do. And I think SkillsUSA is an incredible opportunity for people to find their passion.
They learn how to function outside of a classroom. Skills teaches them, what it's like to work with a team of people, work side by side and have co-workers.
For me, as someone that's going to hire them, it kind of gives me, especially if they've ranked, and they've done very well in SkillsUSA. I know that they're capable of, you know, competing and working in this kind of field.
It's a competition. I mean, it really and truly is competition. You get the kids there again, that's that drive. That's that drive to want to continue to grow, to achieve more, to be that #1 person.
They get the buy-in at that point. And what I mean by that is they take pride in doing well.
And it really helped my career. It jump-started it. Doing good in SkillsUSA, you know, they recognized me here and they actually sponsored me when I went to nationals. And that way when I come back, you know, I started an internship here and led on, and I got hired on after my internship.
To anybody who thinks they don't have time, make the priority. Make the time. This is worth it.
It's worth every minute of time that it takes, you know, and it's not much. Like I said, a lot of it's through class. You know, you have the little fundraisers and stuff, which, I mean, that's fun.
And the recognition that they get for doing well in it, it's just, it speaks volumes. It really is the reason we're here and we do what we do. A lot of it's generated around getting the students excited about SkillsUSA, get them excited about the world of work.
And through SkillsUSA, students get direct contact with industry members who want to hire them, who want to employ them.
When they get out and when the school's over, they're going to have to get a job. And it just gives them that edge.
So a great example, automotive competition. We have about 100 students that compete in that every year. Last year, from one school, 5 students were offered jobs, just from one school, this, not counting all the other schools there.
It gives them a chance to get involved, you know, and better themselves, you know, advance themselves.
We're really proud of the fact that when employers look at SkillsUSA students, they're not just looking at a potential employee, but the first thing they're thinking of, this is a future leader in our company.
This changes your life if you let it, and everything that I owe, like that I am myself, I can owe to SkillsUSA today.